Welcome back to the Indianapolis mayoral debate on Fox 59 and CBS 4. Two men running for mayor of the Circle City, Joe Hogsett and Jefferson Shreve, joining us live right here in our studios tonight. Once again, I'm your moderator, Dan Spieler. I'm joined right now by Leslie Weidenbender from the Indianapolis Business Journal for this next segment, covering topics of economic development. Leslie, welcome to you. Great to have you here.
Thank you so much, Dan. I appreciate it. Mayor Hogsett, when the Signia Hotel project at Pan Am Plaza wasn't able to get financing, your administration stepped in and announced plans to finance and own the entire hotel project. Critics have said that if the private sector can't justify financing the project, should the city do it either? Why did you step in and decide to go ahead and finance that? And what do you think about complaints that the city will be competing against privately owned hotels?
60 seconds.
Well, Leslie, thank you for the question. I think that this was something that the city needed to do. Private funding, private development wasn't available. And yet we have 81 to 82,000 employees who are employed by the hospitality industry. Visit Indy will tell you we welcome 28 million visitors each and every year. Our downtown economy, in no small measure, is linked to our hospitality industry. We're the host city for every major sporting event you can think of. And so having another downtown convention center hotel, while at the same time we're expanding the convention center, I think makes long-term sense for the city of Indianapolis. And I think we would have been negligent without picking up the ball and forwarding our downtown economy even more so into the future. FDIC, FFA, Gen Con, all of these are millions of dollars for our downtown, and I want to protect that.
And Mr. Shreve, you have criticized the decision to have government ownership of the Signia. What would have your solution been in this situation?
I supported the project when it came through MEDC and the council back in 2019, maybe 2018. We just let too much time lapse and let the developer squander the opportunity to get the hotel built when construction costs were materially lower and interest rates were less than half of where they are today. And so the city has allowed itself to be put in the position of having to bail it out so we didn't lose these conventions that we have in our pipeline. The deal was poorly papered, poorly managed by the city. We should have had tighter constraints over the developer that was awarded the deal, and I'm in favor of developers putting private equity and getting private capital to develop our downtown convention industry. That's the way we've always done it, and we're going to dissuade others from investing in our downtown convention industry because we will now be competing with them. We set that precedent.
We'll talk more about that here momentarily as well, but with tourism, with major events in mind, just how important is it for the city to keep major sporting events like the NFL Combine that's being pursued by other cities, or even other sporting events being pursued by other suburbs within our region, like Fishers attracting the Indy Fuel away from the state fairgrounds and now adding an indoor football team. Mr. Mayor, 60 seconds here. How will you work to keep major sporting events here in Indianapolis?
Well, we have a track record and a history of being one of the best, if not the best, host cities, particularly for sporting events. A Super Bowl, the NCAA men's Final Four, all of the entire tournament was played in one city. I think Indianapolis is probably the only city in America that could have pulled that off. The National Collegiate Football Championship game, the upcoming NBA All-Star game. It was estimated by those who follow the patterns of investment that the NBA All-Star Game's presence here in Indianapolis in February may very well bring $350 million to our city. And dare I say, it's not a sporting event, Dan, but dare I say that the 3 nights that Taylor Swift is going to perform at Lucas Oil Stadium, you don't think that's going to sell out every hotel? And I will just take one moment of issue with Jefferson's. We're not competing. The rising tide lifts all boats. All hotels will be empowered by this investment.
But Leslie, we've had our first Taylor Swift reference of the night. That's going to come next election night.
Absolutely.
She'll be in town that week of the election.
So since 2016, Mayor Hogsett's administration has spent nearly $450 million to support or incentivize at least 25 development deals within the regional center, which is what most of us consider downtown. Mr. Shreve, you have said you would use incentives differently or more sparingly. Can you explain how your approach would differ?
Yeah, I feel like it's been a little too rich. We have single site TIFs. We've got this great big downtown TIF. We have some attractive areas in our downtown that private developers want to be in, and yet we are shifting the property tax burden to others beyond the downtown core to sweeten the pie. And I don't think that that's always necessary or appropriate. It's not fiscally prudent. We don't need to create single site TIFs for a residential project right on Mass Avenue, but we have. And so I would be more judicious in applying that tool because there are other parts of our city, other parts of our county that do need that investment, and it's just more equitable.
Mayor, will the city provide incentives to the proposed 11 Park project? And where are you in those negotiations?
Well, we continue to work with the ownership of Indy 11 and 11 Park, and I'm hopeful that that will ultimately come to fruition. Now, we're nowhere near a final deal, but I do think that the asset of a soccer stadium, just like all of the other athletic facilities who previous mayors have insisted remain downtown, whether that be football or basketball or baseball, now soccer. I think that has been a tremendous asset. They're all walkable, they're all accessible. You don't need a car. Fans love the venues. And so I'm looking forward to continuing our negotiation to balance the interests of the ownership of Indy 11 and a soccer stadium, were one to be built, while at the same time protecting taxpayers.
Okay, another specific area of downtown Indy that's been under scrutiny lately is the city market downtown. There are plans to renovate the market next year, but it's going to have to temporarily close down. And that's had some of the vendors incredibly concerned about their livelihoods. Here's what some of them told us last month.
Are they going to have us return back? And how long it will take? We really need an answer for that.
Even now, this is even more of a struggle for us.
This is the only source of income that we have. I'm feeding my kids out of this.
So Mayor Hogsett, I'll start with you, 60 seconds. What is your plan for City Market, and what's your response to these vendors who aren't sure if they'll be able to make it?
Well, I certainly understand their concerns, and I empathize with their concerns. To the extent that the market needs to be closed for any period of time, we will keep that as short as possible. And what your interviewees may not have told you, we already have been helping them out and providing support for them during these global pandemic difficult days. What we will end up with is a transformative project that doesn't just talk about the city market, but the entire city market block. Residential rehabilitation in what is now known as the Gold Building, Class A office space in the 251 Ohio Street building, the Red Building, and a development, a high-rise development on the east side of the market, as well as transformation of the market itself. It will be the most densely populated block in all of downtown Indianapolis once it's done.
Mr. Shreve, what's your response to that? 60 seconds. What would you do differently when it comes to the plans for the market?
Well, our city doesn't do anything quickly, anything infrastructure related. I mean, heck, right in front of the city county building, how long did it take us to re-brick Market Street? A Shreve administration is going to be more communicative with those that are going to be affected by the projects that we might plan. And here, clearly, I know from walking around the city market, we just had no plan of communication with the vendors that have held stalls in there for, in some cases, decades. It's shameful. Similarly, on Georgia Street, with the plans to close that. We don't get in front of that. We don't have conversations with those that will be affected by these changes that the city may, in its wisdom, choose to undertake. It's not the way to do business. And when we do undertake these projects, we've got to move more quickly, because we literally drive others out of business as we block off access and take them, when we shutter them for periods of time. Leslie?
Mayor, the city in 2019 began restricting economic incentives essentially to only companies that pay $18 an hour and provide some other benefit, may that be health insurance or child care. What has been the result, Mayor? And with salaries rising in recent years, should the $18 level be reviewed?
I don't believe it should. I think that the city of Indianapolis is committed to working with developers in ways that provide quality meaningful job opportunities at livable wages. That's what we've done in upping the salaries received by city employees. And I don't think as a matter of fairness and equity that we ought to treat people differently. The other thing that we have done for the very first time in our city's history, in terms of these developments, we have been requiring developers to back their own bonds, developer-backed bonds. Previous administrations just simply gave the money away and put the city in a very difficult position. We have insisted that they participate in the risk in significantly greater ways than they have been asked in the past, and I think that's the right thing to do as well.
Mr. Shreve, would you keep the $18 per hour salary requirement in place for incentives?
Well, I don't think that is effectively in place as it stands today. I mean, just being out at Animal Care Services recently, we don't start people out there at $18 an hour. I think that the market needs to set the rates that we need to fill the positions that are incumbent upon us as the leaders in delivering services for this city. And we've got far too many vacancies at departments all across the Hogshead administration, be they in the Department of Business and Neighborhood Services or Animal Care and Control. But it's not the case that everyone starts at $18 an hour. And heck, lifeguards at pools that are open for 4 or 5 weeks over the summer certainly aren't at that level. Am I supportive of it? I'm supportive of paying what we need to pay to provide the services that the citizens should expect the city to deliver.
And we'll talk about animal care momentarily, some news on that today. In the meantime, we have another question here from the west side of Indianapolis from the executive director of the West Side Chamber, Jerry Knoop. Jerry?
Thank you, Dan, and thanks to our candidates for presenting your positions in front of the public in an open forum like this. Our question is, the West Side Chamber has seen service-related jobs growing along the west side of Indianapolis as the service industry continues to grow. How will your administration address the need for quality housing for those with moderate incomes? What will you do to encourage quality single-family homes that are affordable?
Mayor Hogshead, I'll start with you. 60 seconds. How will you address the need for affordable housing?
Well, housing is needed across all price points. You really can't build the housing fast enough for a growing city like the city of Indianapolis. We've been very happy to be able to announce just over the course of this past year 5,000 new units coming on board of affordable workforce, below market rate housing that would be adequate for those whose household median income may not be quite as high to buy a different type of housing unit. So we have tried to balance affordability and equity with a commitment to keeping longtime homeowners in their residential neighborhoods, and that is why we have lowered a credit or provided a credit for property taxpayers this year.
Okay, Mr. Shreve, same question to you, 60 seconds. How do you address the need for affordable homes?
Well, I would say to the mayor that we can build housing faster than we do in Indianapolis, and many of the cities that we compete with do. If you look at Nashville, they're adding housing stock at a clip that's 4 times faster than we are in Indianapolis. What's the consequence of that supply-demand imbalance? It's year-over-year increases in rents that have averaged 8%. household incomes aren't growing by an average of 8%, and it's not okay that rents are growing at that rate in Indianapolis. We have made the process too gummy, too unpredictable, too slow for the investor developers that want to add more market rate housing, whether it's modestly priced workforce housing or premium housing or single family housing. The process is unpredictable. It is too slow. I wrestled with a PEDCOR development on a multifamily project just off of 465 and 31 that still hasn't come out of the ground. That's been in the works for 3 years. 2 Chicks and a Hammer were in my district.
You can finish your thought briefly.
Redevelopment of existing housing stock is so gummy that they've abandoned Indianapolis.
Okay, Mr. Shreve, thank you so much. Our time is almost up. Here, Leslie, our thanks to you for being here today. We'll be back with some closing statements and hopefully some time for a couple more questions from our viewers as well. Stick around.